Good evening peeps, my name is Scribbs and welcome back to another speed paint. Yes, some people still forget that sometimes this is still an art channel, and just because I maybe upload fewer speed paints doesn't mean that I like doing art any less than gaming. So you know what, I'm gonna combine the best of both worlds and I'm gonna draw something from the series that's really been picking up my channel at the moment, and that is Project Arrhythmia. Something that I actually have tried illustrating before, way back in the day when I just started playing the game. I illustrated both Nowu and Lumi, which were two of the kind of biggest boss characters that were around at the time, and I illustrated them and I turned them into humans. And I thought that, you know what, I'm gonna do the exact same thing, because now there's kind of like a wider category of different bosses, a lot of cool designs out there for people to try out, but I wanted to illustrate the one that was most recent and one that inspired me the most story-wise, and that was Gynt. Or well, anyway, that was the name of the song, and that's the name of the level that you can go download anytime you want, but the real character's name is actually Myst. It's a ghost that haunts you throughout the level, because it kind of illustrates the fact that it's just the beginning of night. It's a very Halloween-y kind of level, so you basically have to survive the night until dawn, with Myst absolutely ambushing you with all different kinds of ghosty activities, and even killing someone else who tried to save you. And that is actually one of the things that I really wanted to put an emphasis on, because when it comes to Project Arrhythmia, we in the community have a tendency to lean towards the cute. We like creating the ooh-woo new-woo characters, with even my last video serving as a pretty good demonstration, since people keep recommending me the freaking right meow level, which I'm gonna play at some point. I promise I'm gonna play it maybe in the next one, or the one after that. I'm gonna play it, okay, at some time. But I wanted to put an emphasis on the fact that Myst is not cute. Myst is not cute in any way, straight up brutally murders someone by biting their head off, and it's actually quite graphically illustrated with kind of like the bones and all that sticking out of the cute squarey design that was actually just being all wholesome and nice and trying to save us and all that. So for that reason I actually decided to turn up the spook factor and make the drawing like really creepy, or turn the Myst character into someone really creepy. And the first way that I thought of making them kind of human was that it's a weird choice, but putting like kind of one of those, what do you call them, bag, like just a paper bag over the person's head. I'm just gonna call them they, because I don't know, I didn't really put any effort into any gender or any specifics like that. So let's just pretend that death and horror is genderless for the time being. But the reasoning behind the paper bag is actually because it's the one thing that looks most like the sort of headgear that a real life person would wear that would sort of simulate a ghost. Like, I mean, of course I could have thrown, like, I don't know, not a carpet, but like a sort of like a linen over them or something to make them look like a ghost, but that would just be kind of boring. I wanted some more to play with when it came to the actual design. And there's nothing that really looks like a ghost headgear wise than just kind of like a paper bag. Even with the rounded out edges, I thought looked kind of similar to Myst. Sorry, I keep saying Gynt, but it looks sort of similar to Myst. And then of course I felt that the big black eyes that Myst has also fits kind of like the black holes, or basically like the empty holes that you cut out of a paper bag if you want to look out of it. And that's how it's illustrated a lot in cartoons and stuff like that. So I thought that ended up being pretty fitting. I was, however, debating in my head whether or not if they should have a mouth, or if it should just be empty. Basically, I could have just added, or I could just remove the mouth, and I wouldn't actually feel that different about the design. I still kind of like it, but just to put a bit more detail into the design so it doesn't look so simplistic, I added sort of a red mouth, but that's up to you guys whether or not if you think that was a good decision. But one of the design decisions, or well, not just even design decisions, but the part of the illustration that I really like is the fact that Myst actually holds on to the decapitated bottom half of the otherwise cute creature that was trying to save you through the level. And I actually thought that was kind of creepy. That was actually sort of a little bit of a shock moment, because once again, I hadn't really experienced anything that would simulate, I guess, gore or actual like death or anything in Project Arrhythmia. It's sort of just been a cute joyride and so on, and I even thought that Myst themselves actually just looked sort of cute to begin with. But I definitely changed my mind about that, and now they proudly present this bottom half of the corpse, and then I even spelled out underneath it where the blood sort of drips down from the body, "You scared?" question mark, which I thought was really, really fitting. Especially for the fact that, like, compared to all the other collection bosses, or bosses in the collection, you don't actually beat Myst, you just sort of outlive her in the attrition war, and you manage to get to the next dawn, as it is, but who knows, they may be back for the next night, so maybe none of us are safe, maybe they're just waiting for us in the dark, and that's what I'm actually illustrating. That's the next night I'm illustrating, when they come back as a human form, for some reason, I don't know. But if we were to talk about any other aspect that was brought into the design, I thought the shirt was kind of plain, so I decided to just put a moon on there, sort of to symbolize the fact that Myst only has power at night. I decided to make the bottom half of the body more drippy, sort of like to still show the fact that it's a ghost. I could have just had plain old white legs, but I wanted to add a little more intrigue to, like, the bottom half of the design. And then the last part, that I don't know if I'm proud of talking about it, but when I was originally thinking about the design, I was actually considering incorporating, you know, just a smidge, just a light touch, just a little dabble of sans from Undertale into it, because even throughout the level, I think in that level, or maybe it actually wasn't that level, maybe it was party time, I don't know, it was one of those two, I commented on the fact that why haven't people actually, like, made music or made a level with Undertale music yet? And I thought about it, I'm pretty sure I thought about it when I played pure Gynt, but I thought about it because Myst always used the freaking Gaster Blasters, or what looked like Gaster Blasters, so I was wondering if I should actually bring that into the design and sort of have the skeleton heads floating around her, sort of shooting those beams out to make it look way more like a Sans fan art of some sort. But as you can see, then I didn't live up to that, sadly. I actually went in the complete other direction, and while I did illustrate kind of like the skull, because I thought it was, you know, it was too iconic for the level to sort of leave out, then I only had it sort of hovering above Myst's hand, sort of as their minion. But I didn't put any effects. I wish I actually kind of did put a few effects here and there, maybe some transparent or half-gray rays or something around to make it look a little more flashy, but at the same time I also did kind of like the composition of just Myst kind of like hovering in the dark with all those eyes sort of like staring out at you. I actually put a conscious effort into making all the eyes sort of look at you, so it actually seemed like it posed the question, "You scared?" And I thought that really all just tied the drawing together, and I gotta admit, I'm quite happy with the design. I don't know how well it reflected Myst, the character design themselves. I guess if OL 600 or whatever I'm gonna call you, I'm just gonna call you OL from now on. I guess if they comment on the video, they can get the final say on whether or not if this design fits or not. But I'm quite proud of it, so maybe even if it doesn't reflect Myst, then I did come up with a pretty spooky design. And I guess, yeah, that's pretty much all I got for the drawing, but since we're already on the topic of spooky, then the next episode I'm going to be playing the level Lavender Town, so stop commenting about it. I'm sorry, I know you guys like commenting, and you know what, I would not for the world stop you guys from commenting. The more comments I get, the happier I feel, and that's actually one of the primary ways I judge whether or not if a video is done well, that's how many comments I get, so thank you so much for being so active down in the comments. But I've seen a lot of people ask me to play Lavender Town, and don't worry, I will. It just so happens that that level came out the day after I was done recording the actual Halloween episode for Project Arrhythmia. So sorry about that, but I will definitely play that one in the next one. But anyways, peeps, I'm all out of time for this one, so thank you all so much for watching. Please remember to leave your opinion on the drawing down below, and maybe even some constructive criticism if you got any. I will take any, because this channel is all about actually me also documenting my own journey into becoming an artist. So any criticism that you got is, you know, that's fantastic, and I would love to read it. As long as it doesn't break my heart, that is. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.